Hello everyone, welcome to my channel IT and Automation Learners Hub. My name is Khaja. In today's session, I will explain about arrays in Java. So these are the topics going to be covered. Before getting into the details of arrays, let me give you an overview about arrays. As discussed in session 2, identifiers concept, we can store different values in computer memory by using identifiers in the form of variables and constants. For example, let us suppose I am going to store three values 10, 50 and 100 in computer memory. So here, let us suppose these values are stored in different locations. For example, 10 is stored in this location. In the memory, and similarly 50 is stored in this location in the memory, and similarly 100 is stored here in this location in the memory. The three values are stored in different locations in the memory, in three different locations in the memory. Let us suppose for this location, to identify this value for this location, here I am using one identifier X. So by using X, we can identify the location of 10 in the memory. Similarly, here I am using one more variable or identifier Y to identify location of 50 in the memory. Similarly, this location will be identified by using variable Z. Like this, here we are using different identifiers. We can also call it as variables to identify the locations where the different values are stored in the memory. Let us suppose we are storing 100 similar type of values in memory. In that case, for these 100 values, we need to provide 100 variable names. And these values will be stored in 100 different locations in the memory. In such case, we can store all these 100 values of same type in side-by-side memory locations where all values will be represented by single variable name or identifier. So we can store all these 100 values of same type in side-by-side memory locations where all values can be represented by a single name. For example, so here let us suppose, for example, I am taking 10 values. Instead of storing 100 values, we can use for 100 and 1000 values also. In my example, I am taking 10 locations. So here we are storing 3 values, like, right? Similarly, let us suppose I am storing 10 values. Value 1. This is the location for value 2. This is the location for value 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So these are the 10 memory locations, and these all locations are side by side. And let us suppose these all, so here x is an integer type variable, y is also 50 integer type variable, z is also 100, z is also integer type variable, 100 is also integer type variable. I discussed about data types also in session 2. So if anybody wants to know about, if you don't have clear idea about identifiers, variables, constants, and data types, you can watch session Java session 2. In that you can get all these details. So here these three variables are of same type, integer type. So let us suppose I am storing all 10 integer values in all these continuous memory side by side memory locations. And let us suppose I am giving a name to all these locations, like array. I am giving a name EA. Okay. So for all these locations. Now this identifier or variable A is known as an array. This identifier, which is representing the group of memory locations which contains same type of data. So such a identifier is called as an array. So by using arrays, each memory location, so here in this arrays, each memory location can be, by using this array name, each memory location can be identified by using an index number. For example, here the first memory location will be identified by using the index number 0, and second location will be identified by using index number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So these are the index numbers for each memory location in an array. So by using arrays, each memory location will be identified by its index number. And in arrays, memory index always starts from 0. Index numbers always starts from 0. And it will goes to till the total number of locations minus 1. So here total number of locations is 10. So 10 minus 1. So from 0 to 10 minus 1. Memory locations will be represented by using array. In arrays, memory locations will be represented by using indexes, and index numbering starts from 0 to total number of locations minus 1. So that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 for 10 memory locations. And always arrays will be used for similar type of data. For example, here I am storing all integers 10, 20, 30, 50, 70, 80, like that, all integers. So if we are storing all integers in a array, then it is called an integer array. If we are storing all float values, like 10.5 or 20.3 or 30.6, not or, and 5.8, similarly 1.2, like in array, all the elements, data items are having floating point values. Then such an array is called as float array. Similarly, if the array is having all the character values, all the character values. Some characters like asterisk, like dollar, any character like ash symbol, hashtag, and like any character A, and similarly any number, single number, uh, any number in the form of a character, digit, any digit. Similarly, so like this, if we are storing characters in an array, then it is called a character array, integer array, float array, and character array. But for character arrays, here we have a special name called as strings. Character arrays are also called as strings. We will discuss about strings in the strings concept. But here in arrays, in arrays we can store the similar type of values. In arrays we can store similar type of values in continuous memory locations. All the values stored in an array should be of same type. That is the first condition. Another condition, array index always starts from 0. So like this, here we use arrays. Now let's get into the details. Now let us define what is an array. An array is a collection of data items of same type that will store in consecutive memory locations and represented by same name. For example, I am taking an array with name marks. So in that array, I am storing 10 subject marks in 10 subjects. And array elements are identified or accessed by an array index. Array index always starts with 0. Array index values are represented by a variable called as subscript variable. So in order to represent the array index values in an array, while accessing array, to represent the array index values, here we use one variable, and that variable is called as subscript variable, array subscript variable. By using while processing arrays, by using array subscript variables, we can represent the array index numbers. Okay, so for that purpose, here we use subscript variables. And here we have the different types of arrays. If an array is represented by one subscript variable, then it is called one-dimensional array. For example, so here this is an array. A list is an array, or list of values is an array. So here, suppose let us take em marks. So marks, here marks is an array, and this array is having 10, 30, 40, 50, 80, and 20 values. These 6 values it is having. So here these 6 values will be represented by the index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, value 10 is represented in array M by using index number 0. So 0 value 10 is in 0th location in array M. Similarly, value 30 is in location 1 in array M. Similarly, value 80 is in location 4 in array M. So this is now here this 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will be represented by using index variable, sorry, subscript variable I. Now I is the array subscript variable. I is an subscript variable. M is the array name, I is the subscript variable, and 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the index numbers, array index numbers. These are array index numbers. So these index numbers will represent the different locations. These array index numbers represents the location of different values stored in an array. And here these 10, 30, 40, 80, 50, 80, 20, these represents the values stored in an array. Values, array values. These are known as array values. So if the array values are represented by using one subscript variable, then it is called single dimensional array. If an array is represented by using two subscript variables, then it is called two-dimensional array. For example, I am representing a matrix. I want to store the values in a matrix. So matrix are basically represented by rows and columns. Let us suppose here I am having 4 rows and 3 columns. So here in that case, let us suppose these are the values, suppose 10, 20, 30, 5, 15, 25. These are the values of a matrix. Let us suppose I am taking this value 4. So here 4 is not represented by one particular index. So here it is going to be represented by two different indexes, like 4 is in second row and first column. So 4 is in second row and first column. This is second row, means 0th row, first row, second row, and 0th column, first column. Okay, so second row and first column. So if a value is represented by, and here the column value, here all the row numbers, row indexes, we are representing all the row indexes by using one subscript variable I, and we are representing all the column indexes by using another variable j. So by using subscript variable I and subscript variable j, we are representing one value. Okay, so by using row and column indexes, we are representing one value. If we are representing one value by using two subscript variables, subscript variable I and subscript variable j, by using rows and columns, then such a array is called as two-dimensional array. If an array is represented by two subscript variables, or also we can say as if an array is represented by two index values, then it is called two-dimensional array. Basically, here we use two-dimensional arrays to represent the matrices. If an array is represented by more than two subscript variables or more than two index values, then it is called multi-dimensional array. So these are the different types of arrays. Now let's see how the arrays will be used in Java programming. So declaration and initialization of an array. Declaration of an array. The process of creating an array is called declaration of an array. Here we use syntax to declare array like this: data type, array name, parenthesis is equal to new data type size. So this is for single dimensional array. This syntax is for single dimensional array. So the process of creating an array is called declaration of an array. How can we declare an array? So by using syntax. So this is the syntax for single dimensional array. So and here is the example: int marks is equal to new int of 5. So here now marks is a single dimensional array which contains 5 integer data items, 5 integer values. Marks is an integer array which represents 5 integer values in the memory. How these values will be represented? By using index numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Similarly, here we have one more syntax to declare two-dimensional arrays: data type, array name, 2 square brackets, new data types, row size and column size. So here example is int matrix. Here we represent the 2 square brackets new int of row size 2, column size 2. So here matrix is a two-dimensional array which contains integer values in the form of 2 rows and 2 columns. Matrix is a two-dimensional array which contains integer values in the form of 2 rows and 2 columns. And another one is initialization of an array. The process of storing values into an array is called initialization of an array. Syntax to initialize an array. Array name in here, syntax to initialize an array. Array name index number is equal to value. For example, here we have declared a single dimensional array, right? So int marks is equal to, here we have declared a single dimensional array, this one. So int marks is equal to new int of 5. So in this marks array, I am storing values. It is representing 5 locations for 5 integer variables, right? Integer values. So I am storing 5 integer values in 5 locations. So for example, here it is having like this. So here we have created an array with 5 locations. Single dimensional array with 5 locations. So array name is marks. Array name is marks, M-A-R-K-S. Okay. So this is the array name. So here I have created one array marks with how many locations? 5 locations. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 locations. All these locations are of integer type locations. So here we can store integer values. Locations are like this. How always location starts with 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the array is created like this. Okay. Now I want to store the values into this array. So first value I am storing 20 in location 0. In marks location 0, I am storing value 20. Similarly, in marks array location 1, I am storing value 35. So similarly, in array marks, in marks array in location 4, I am storing value 78. So like this is the process of storing values into an array is called initialization of array. So like this, here we can initialize an array. Okay, the syntax to initialize an array is this one. Array name index number is equal to value. Okay. Similarly, we can initialize two-dimensional arrays also. So while initializing two-dimensional array, here we will specify the array name and index number, row index number and column index number. So let us suppose I am storing the values like this. So here we have the rows, 0th row and first row, and similarly columns, 0th column and first column. Okay, so 2 rows, 2 columns. So here we have created array with how many rows and columns? So here we have created with 2 rows and 2 columns, right? A two-dimensional array with 2 rows and 2 columns. So in that array, I am storing the values like this. In 0th row and 0th column, I am storing value 56. So this is 0th row and 0th column. And similarly, in 0th row and first column, I am storing 25. So always the values will be stored in two-dimensional array. Row-wise, the values will be stored. In two-dimensional array, always values will be stored row-wise. And in matrix, in array matrix, first row, 0th column, 34. This is the first row and 0th column, 34. And similarly, first row and first column, 79. So like this, here we can store the values into an array, two-dimensional array. And this process is called as initialization of an array. And here we can declare and initialize the arrays in single statement. So like this. So here we will create an array, and at the same time we can store values into an array. So here we are creating an array, data type, array name, and we are storing the values with comma separated. So for example, data type float, and I am creating array one, A1 array, and I am storing the values here. And straight away, while creating the arrays, I am storing the values. I am initializing the arrays. Similarly, in two-dimensional array, I am creating data type, array name, and comma separated values for rows. So here this is matrix is a two-dimensional array, and here I am storing the values row wise. So this is the first row, first column value means 0, comma 0, and location. And similarly, comma 0 first row, second column. And similarly this one, first row, 0th column, and first row, first column. So 56 is 0th row, 0th column value, 25 is 0th row, first column value, and 34 is first row, 0th column value, 79 is first row, first column value. So row wise here we will store the values in two-dimensional arrays. Now let's write a program, sample program, to process these single dimensional and two-dimensional arrays. So here let me create a class. Okay. So how to create a class? So here we can create class, Alt Shift N, go to down arrow, class, provide a class name, one dimension array, one dim array, one dimensional array. I am taking the main function. What happened? Just a moment. Sorry, I did not select this. Control Shift N. Sorry, Alt Shift N. Select class, one dim array, one dimensional array. I am taking the main function. Click on finish. So a new class is created here. So here I am declaring a one-dimensional array like this: int a1 is equal to array1, int array1 is equal to array1. So like this, we need to give the square brackets, new int 5, int of 5. So this is one array I have created. So here this is the array declaration. This is array declaration. Now I am storing the values into arrays like a1 of 0 is equal to 25, and a1 of 1 is equal to 55, a1 of 2 is equal to 70, a1 of 3 is equal to 80, a1 of 4 is equal to 65. Okay. If we always array index number starts with 0 and ends with n minus 1. If we are using any index number beyond this limit, it will throw an error called as array index out of bound error. It will throw array index out of bound error. Okay. So here I am taking So this is the initialization of array. Array initialization. This is initialization of array. Array initialization. Similarly, I am creating one more array, int a2. Let me create float array. Float a2 is equal to float a2 is equal to, I'm giving some values here, float values. This is initialization and declaration in the same statement. So here I am taking 1.43 float. If we are storing float values, we need to specify f. 2.5 f and 3.6 f, 7.8 f and 9.2 f. See here we are storing 5 values. So in the first array all are integer values. Okay. In the second array all are float values. Okay. So to process these arrays here we use one for loop. I'm taking one for loop. For you know how to access for loops, right? So if you don't know about how to use the for loops, just watch my video for all looping statements. Here we have the session 4 for all looping statements. Int I is equal to 0, I is less than 5, I plus plus. Okay. Single dimension array a1 values. Array 1 values. Okay. So system dot println a1 of I. Right? I am giving some space. Like this, I am displaying the values from array 1. Similarly, I am displaying values from array 2. Control C, Control V. So here array 2 is just simply will specify array 2. Same statement I am writing. So you know how to process arrays, right? How to process the for loops, right? So simply now the I value will be 0 and it will display the value from 0th location. If I value is 2, 1, it will display the value from location 1, like that. So let me execute the program. It is showing some error. Let me check the error. This is the for loop. Okay, so here so here quotation. I did not end the quotation. So it is showing. Okay, it's already there. So here also we need to end the quotations. It is already there. Okay. Like this here we use. So now let's run this program. it is showing the array values like this. So array from single dimensional array values, and from the first array it is displaying all the values, and from the second array it is displaying all the float values. Okay, like this. Here we use single dimensional arrays. So this is for single dimensional array program. So how these arrays loops will work, you just watch session 4 video. So in that you can get clear idea about the usage of how the loops will be implemented in Java. Now let me create one more class, Alt Shift N. Uh, 2D arrays, 2-dimensional arrays, public static void main finish. Now let me write a program. Let me write the script here. Here I will create a 2-dimensional array like int matrix underscore 1. So how do we create the 2-dimensional arrays? Like this is equal to new int of 2 rows. I am taking 2 rows and 3 columns. 2 rows and 3 columns. Okay. Otherwise, I am taking 2 rows and 2 columns in this matrix. I am taking 2 rows and 2 columns. I am initializing the matrix 1. Matrix 1. Let's see. And here the 0th row, and here we are row wise. We will store the values 0th row, 0th column, 10, and 0th row and first column is equal to 30. Similarly, first row and 0th column value is 70. Similarly, first row and first column value is 35 or 50. It is not minus plus. Okay. So here I have created here declaration. This is the array declaration, 2D array declaration, and this is the initialization of 2-dimensional array. Here I will create one more matrix int matrix underscore 2. So let me create an float matrix here. Float matrix is equal to, I'm storing some values like this. Here we will store the values row wise. Okay, 1.2 f comma. Let me create. Okay, here I will create 2 rows and 3 columns. Okay, 1.2 f, 2.3 f, and 3.4 f. Okay, this is first row, comma. I'm taking one more row, 5.6 f, comma, 6.7 f, comma, 7.8 f. This is second row values. Like this, here we will initialize the 2-dimensional arrays. Now I want to display the values from 2-dimensional arrays. System dot equal space two-dimensional value array value two-dimensional array value, sorry, two-dimensional array 1 values, two-dimensional array 1 values. So to process two-dimensional arrays, here we use the nested loops. Okay, so int I is equal to, from 0, I is less than, how many rows we have in the first array? 2 rows. Okay, and I plus plus again to process columns, here we use one more subscript variable, int j is equal to 0, j is less than 2, j plus plus. Now I am displaying the values. System.out.println, system.out.println. So here I am taking print. I am using print method. Okay, print. Here value is matrix underscore 1 of I j. Okay, plus I am giving some space here. That's it. Okay, so print statement will display the values in the same row. Okay, in the same line. Print statement will display the values in the same line. Okay, so here I am writing one more system.out.println in the next line. Okay, so println will display the values in the new line, next line. Print will display the values in the same line. Okay, so this is for first row, first matrix, and similarly for second matrix. Control C. I'm writing the same code, just I need to change the values like this. So this is the, so two-dimensional array, 2 values, and here how many rows we have taken? 2 rows, and columns are 3 columns, right? I need to change this value, 2 rows and 3 columns, so it will display the value. Okay, after so now let me execute this program. Two-dimensional 2 values. Okay, array out of bound exception. 1, 2, 3 values. 1, 2, 3 values. How many rows? 2 rows. 3. Okay, sorry. This matrix 2. Here I'm taking 2 rows, 3 columns, right? Index 2 out of bound exception for length to at first package 2-dimensional array. So 0, 30 it has displayed 0 and 30. Oh, sorry. See, here I did not specify the correct array name, right? So two-dimensional array name is 2, right? So in the first, see there, that's why. See, it is showing the error array index out of bounds. Okay, index out of bounds, array index out of bounds error. It will show always. Okay. So because here I am taking the row 1 and I am displaying the third column value. There is no matrix 1 and I am displaying third column value. There is not at all third column. That's why it is showing error. Okay, now it will run successfully. See, this is the first row. In second matrix, the first row is having values 1.2, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0th row, 0th column, 0th row, 0th first column, 0th row, second column. Similarly, first row, first column 5.6, and first row, second column 6.7, and first row, third column 7.8. Okay, and 0th row, 0th column 0.1.2, 0th row, first column 2.3, 0th row, second column 3.4, like this. Okay, so I'm coming to here 0, 30, 70, 50. Why it is displayed 0? it should display, sorry, see here I specified wrong number, 0 0 I need to specify 0th or 0th column. Now it will give the correct value. So here it is showing default value 0. Actually value was not assigned in 0th row 0th location, 0th row 0th column location. That's why it is showing default value 0. But actually I stored 10 there. By mistake I specified wrong location. Okay. Now let's see. It is showing the correct value. 10, 30, 70, 50. So 10 is the 0th row 0th column value. 30 is the 0th row first column value. Similarly, 70 is the 0th first row 0th column value, and 50 is the first row and first column value. So like this, here we use arrays in Java. So thank you all for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. Please like, share, and give your valuable comments. So based on your comments, I will try to correct. I will try to improve my quality of my videos. Thank you all.